I remember looking back, several years ago when a 100 kilowatt inverter was a central inverter, and you think about the power density that's all packed into this 100 and 125 kilowatt inverter. It's the size of a suitcase, rather than, an industrial refrigerator or whatever it used to be.
Right.
So we did the same thing in terms of increasing the DC voltage, which was allowed by code, by increasing the AC output voltage, or what the inverter interconnected with. So we went from 480 volts three phase to 600 volts three phase. Very common in Canada. There's a lot of systems, a lot of older systems also here in the US that still have 600 volt 347Y, source grid sources. So we did the same thing on the AC side by, making an inverter that intertied at a higher voltage. That meant that the conductors would get smaller and so forth, and it's a win-win. And we incorporated those features like separable wire boxes into those products, so they were easy to install and easy adapted. So kind of moving on and keeping that same theme, we introduced our 275 kilowatt inverter, 1500 volt DC, but it has an 800 volt intertie, three phase. Yeah. So again, a win-win there with, keeping a small package size in terms of a string inverter. It weighs less than 200 pounds. It's, it's still the size of a suitcase, but you get all the benefits of the increased voltage, the benefits of string inverter, which I can go into a little more as we talk about utility scale applications. But one of the kind of hurdles that our customers were getting was finding balance of system equipment that had these voltage ratings and were listed for this particular, voltage rating. Historically, you could get equipment that was listed to 600 volts, but it was like, UL 508 or 408. I'm trying to think of the exact listing for the product, but it only went to 600 volts, and there was a disconnect between the inverter has to work at an operating range of 110% to 88% of nominal voltage, right? Which meant for a 600 volt nominal, you had to be able to operate at 660. Well, where do you get equipment that's listed to 660 volts? So some manufacturers, some third-party manufacturers were offering things like switchboards or molded case circuit breakers that were dual listed to UL and IEC. And IEC went to 690 volts AC. But it was still a little bit difficult to come by. So what we've done at Chint Power Systems America is, rather than just being an inverter manufacturer, we are now a solutions provider. So we have additional balance of system equipment that we can offer. One being our what we call our switch box, which is a 3-in-1 combiner with a fuse disconnect. And then we also have what we call our breaker box, which includes molded case circuit breakers where you can combine up to 3 275 kilowatt inverters into a single circuit. The switch box version 1 and version 2. So version 2 is just a little bit different than version 1 in that it's turned 90 degrees. This was some customer feedback that we incorporated into the design. And I could probably pull up some pictures and show you the inside of the switch box. So I will share my screen here and show you a little bit of the switch box. So this is these are some pictures that we showed this product at RE Plus in Las Vegas back in September. And this is a disconnect switch with 1,000 amp fuses and bus bars that accommodate the conductors for the combining the inverters into a single output circuit. This product was UL listed to 1741. I should say listed to the UL 1741 standard with 3 275 kilowatt inverters. And it went through all of the abnormal testing for uh, short circuit, voltage spikes, every kind of abnormal that you would introduce with when you're doing product development and you're going through certification testing. This product was evaluated to, and it was found that by testing the product with the inverters, so this kind of combined solution, that the response of the self-protection response of the inverters essentially mimicked having individual circuit protection for each inverter, and that it wasn't needed. Um, this was, kind of a innovative feature that we came up with and tested and evaluated and got the certification for. So this product has been used for quite a few projects. There's been a ribbon cutting just about a month ago for a project in Montana that was a 105 megawatt DC that used the 275s and used this DC switch box arrangement.